One issue, as far as the GPS monitor and all that, they gave him a new device just now. They said it was a charging issue. They plugged it in, it would charge for 10 minutes, stop charging. He has a brand new one they just put on this morning. Now, the drug test
violation that he's out at 3 a.m.
Well, no, it's not that he's out, is that that's when it reconnected. So but they gave him a brand new device. So they're saying there was an issue where they changed the device out and there's not a tamper on it. It's just, it said it was not receiving. They didn't say it was that he was out and about, it said it wasn't receiving, and they started receiving again. That's at least the report that I saw. It's not like they were tracking him other places. But as far as resolution of the case, I did talk to him and he is interested in participating in DWI court. And I know because we talked about that last week. I had a visit with him on that this morning.
Says here on 3/11/24, GPS device generated a failed to enter alert at 10:15 p.m. At 11:46 through 3:02, GPS device was in no GPS no cell status and was unable to be monitored during that time frame. Client arrived home at 3:01 a.m. on 3/12.
So that's not when it arrived home. That's when it started charging again. Because it's not a geolocation. I mean, as far as I'm understanding, it's the GPS shows where he is. Not.
I'm going to be honest, Your Honor. That would be a question for pre-trial.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's pointed to the client, not to you.
Okay. I was like,
Saying out and that he's out in the middle of the night.
I don't think they're saying that. What they're saying is that it's received a no signal.
Client arrived home at 3:01 a.m. on 3/12.
Where was he before that?
Huh?
They don't know where he was before that. He was at home. He just wasn't charging.
You have.
That's the way I'm reading it.
Do you have? Do you have the idea of where he is?
I don't see any notes from the case manager, and then.
So I also have here, client was also instructed to obtain a portable alcohol testing device, comply with all testing protocols, refrain from alcohol consumption, and comply with all routine equipment service. The defendant failed to provide breath samples, scheduled times, resulting in 13 skips from 2/7/25 to 3/17 of 25. So he's still skipping tests. Come up, Mr. Jones. I just don't get it. I truly don't. It's over and over and over. You are still skipping tests. And I don't know what it is and what I need to do to get you to comply with bond conditions. You're still skipping tests. I mean, I have no other choice. I now have to revoke your bond again.
Well, let's do a plea then.
Huh?
Let's plea it.
I agree with, and I'm okay, but I'm going to tell you now that I want to have him TRAS'd immediately to see how we go forward.
Well, Judge,
You know,
okay.
just all I want you to do is not kill anyone, man. That's all I want, you know, really. I'm not asking for much. You have since day one in our court have repeatedly refused to comply with bond conditions over and over and over. And I'm not doing a plea to where he can just get out and just do, and
So
you scare me.
how do we resolve, Judge?
Huh?
So how do we resolve it?
So, yeah, I agree with you. I think that the correct thing to do would be probation.
Okay.
But I would like to have him TRAS'd while he's in there. And I have a feeling I know what the TRAS is going to say, and that's what I would like to do.
Okay. I would request you to set a bond.
Of course.
It's just costing him money, Judge. What already costing is his family money.
So it's okay to just skip tests?
No, it's not. It's a test, but I'm saying it's
escape. I'm just be asleep, and I'm not trying to escape me wrong. I swear to
just
God.
stop talking. You don't
Sure.
just stop.
Okay, he goes, and it's literally, the minute he gets out, we have bond violations over and over and over. Now, what are we now, day what?
The court wanted to be made aware of the presumptive results.
What did he test positive for?
THC, Suboxone, Oxy, and benzodiazepines.
He tested positive for Oxycontin.
Yes, Judge. Presumptively positive. It's being sent to the lab for the testing.
What I had envisioned, what I think is probably do like a 2-year probation. I want to do like maybe 10 days as a condition, do an immediate TRAS. We'll get it done today, tomorrow, and we'll see what the TRAS says. And I'm going to go with what the TRAS says. If the TRAS says, and I promise you, Dustin, I will do what if the TRAS says that IOP, SOP is the proper course, then they'll do it,
Okay.
you know? But if they say residential, I think that's I want to follow what the TRAS says because I think that that's the proper one.
I don't think it's taken.
Hmm?
I just don't think it's taken as recreational.
Then I have a jury waiting right now.
You should have taken it. I mean, let's just see what it says. Let's try to get a quick.
For sure.
How quick?
So do you want to do the probation?
Yeah, he wants to do probation.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, Blaze, you let me know.
On this is.
Jones, probation.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we had offered the probation first, so. Yeah, TRS.
Okay.
So, probation,
2 year.
TRS conditions.
2 year.
Okay.
I want to do 10 days as a condition. That way I can get the TRAS done now immediately while he's in. And then I'm going to follow whatever the TRAS says. Good morning, Mr. Sager. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. Essentially, you and the state have not been able to work out an agreement, so you're coming to me for punishment for purposes of this case that you want to end today. Is that right? You need to understand that you give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You're facing 180 days in jail. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers, the right to be arraigned, charged with in open court. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeals. So whatever happens today happens, and that's it. There's no turning around and trying to change your mind. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm a firm believer that everybody deserves a chance. Really. But the problem is we have people that we give them chances and they take the chance, but then it continues to happen over and over and over. And that's what we are trying to prevent from happening with you, Mr. Sager. You know, we all make mistakes, but the problem is that when you make a mistake where you're in danger of someone's life, you have to take notice. And when you don't, and when it continues to happen, if it continues to happen, the sentences get longer. The costs become bigger, especially with the DWI. Now you're facing, like I said, the 6 months. Your lawyer's asking me to set you for a deferred, which is a type of probation that if you complete, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. I will do this for you today. I will set you on a 1 year deferred. I'm going to sentence you to 180 days in jail, and I will not find you guilty, and I will put you on this deferred for a year. However, you will be required to satisfy conditions. If you do, fantastic, you will not end up with a conviction on your record. But you need to understand something. For all intents and purposes, if you're pulled over, an officer's going to see this. They're not going to give a rat's behind whether it's a deferred, whether it's a conviction, whether it's a dismissal. If they see that you have a prior DWI and they smell alcohol on you, it's probably not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm trying to say is that even if you have half a beer, a sip of something, don't get into a car because it's a huge risk. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it is a 180-day, 1 year deferred. You will maintain a guardian interlock while you're on this deferred. You will do a DWI education class, a victim impact panel. Do you have children? We will do a parenting class in lieu of community service.
Sure.
No drugs, alcohol. You will do what's called a TRAS to see if you need other conditions. If they assess other conditions, you must fulfill those conditions. No breath test refusal, meaning that if you're pulled over in a car, an officer asks you to submit a breath test, you must do it while you're on this probation. If you don't, you're in violation. If you violate this probation, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. We will have a hearing to see if you violated this. And as you see all the people that came out, you'll be dressed in orange. We're going to bring you back out. We're going to have a hearing to see if you violated. If you do, or if you did, you're looking at 180 days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind running his license to see if it's eligible, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't forget anything, did I? That's about it. So the only other thing I'd like to know now is whether your license is eligible or not. Because if it's not eligible, I'm going to order you not to drive and we'll give you a portable device. You're not allowed to drive unless you have a valid license and liability insurance in your name. You must maintain car insurance while you're on this probation. You must give them proof so that we know that you're driving legally.
It's eligible.
Wonderful. Okay. I'm not going to suspend your license now, so you can continue to drive, but you must get an interlock within 7 days. Do you understand?
7 days?
Correct. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, sir, not at this time.
The only other thing that I'm going to impart to you now is that DWI is huge business in Texas. There is a $3,000 surcharge. Is this a 0.15 or above? It is.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above? Oh, well, I guess you didn't, it's not pled as such, right? Okay. So the reason I'm trying to tell you is that there's a $3,000 surcharge that tags onto you when you pick up one of these types of cases. I'm going to waive it for you now, but on a second DWI, it's a $6,000 surcharge. And if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you sit 1 day in jail. And I routinely put it on seconds. So beware, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. You pick up another one, not to mention a minimum of 30 days. Well, there's no minimum because deferred. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. Thanks. All right.